What's going on? This is Kareem from DJBooth.net, and I'm here in the lab to give you guys the rundown video review of the new Denon X1800 PRIME professional 4-channel DJ mixer. So before we get into this video is in part sponsored by our boys over at Reverb.com. That's where you guys can buy and sell used, new, and vintage DJ and production equipment. So we'll have a link at the top of this video description so you guys can go check out Reverb.com. And you can also purchase mixers like this and the whole rest of the Denon DJ PRIME series right there at Reverb.com. So let's get right into it. This is the Denon X1800. This came out with the whole full PRIME series. We just reviewed the 2 turntables, the VL12s. We're going to review the SC5000 players very shortly, hopefully before NAMM 2018. And this is their flagship 4-channel DJ mixer that goes a part of the whole PRIME setup, which is called the X1800. Now this bad boy is a tremendous mixer. For first impressions, it's very heavy. It's solid all the way around, completely metal build. If you take off any of these knobs, they have a metal post underneath. So really high quality performance gear here by Denon DJ. This is definitely worthy of being in the PRIME series. It looks the part. It looks just like all of their other gear, all metal and very sturdy and definitely built to last. No worries at all with the construction of this beastly 4-channel DJ controller. So setup is relatively easy. All you guys have to do is make sure you have all of your inputs and outputs connected. And if you want to use this with Serato DJ, you can connect your USBs here at the top. You have dual USBs for easy DJ changeovers, or for when you want to use 2 different laptops for the same mixer. You're going to also want to go over to the Denon DJ website to get the latest firmware update for this mixer, because this mixer, unlike other 4-channel mixers out there, can be updated. They can add effects to the unit, and they can also make it work better with the play environment. So make sure you guys go to DenonDJ.com and download the latest and greatest drivers before you start using your X1800. So in order to use this mixer with Serato DJ, all you have to do is connect your USB cable to one of these 2 top dual USB ports, and then you can download the Serato DJ Club Kit, and then you'll be able to use this mixer with Serato DJ. So let's take a closer look at all of the inputs and outputs. There's lots and lots of inputs and outputs on this machine. You have all that you're going to need for a club style standard setup. You have your power button all the way to the left, along with your AC in. Then you have balanced master XLRs. You also have booth TRS. And then you have a record RCA output and an unbalanced regular RCA output that corresponds to the master. You also have a send and return 1/4 inch here. And you also have digital inputs, 1, 2, and 3, 4. You have 2 digital outs. You also have your grounding posts. All of your line levels, or all of your channels, have line and phono level inputs on them as well. You have a mic 2 port on the back, which is a 1/4 inch. And you have your mic 1 port on the front of the unit itself, which is a combo jack. Then you have a MIDI output, and a really cool feature here, you have your link ports, which means you can link all 4 of your different devices to each other, and then you can also link your PC to the devices, and they'll all match up with BPMs, and they'll all be in sync with each other with the link ports available here. Lots of other mixers on the market do not have links, so you'll have to use some type of RAN device, specifically the DJM 900. And here on the Denon, they included it, so you don't need anything else except for your RJ45 cables. Plug them right in, and everything is linked and ready to go. So lots and lots of inputs and outputs. And again, you have 2 of your headphone jacks on the front face of the mixer, so that way it's good when it's in a public installation. You can just easily get both of your jacks. You have the mini, and you also have the 1/4 inch. And then of course you have your dual USBs, as we spoke about earlier. So let's get right on into it and see what the X1800 is all about. So here it is, the brand new Denon DJ X1800 PRIME professional 4-channel flagship digital DJ mixer. So just as with all of our reviews, we're going to break this down piece by piece and control by control, starting all the way at the bottom with the brand new Crossfader by Denon DJ called the Flex Fader. This is a very crisp and accurate crossfader. You can replace this with something else, but I don't think you really ever will need to, because this bad boy can pull off all of your scratches, all of your tricks, and you can also change the tension by undoing these screws, picking it up, and changing the tension of the crossfader, but it comes very loose, just how I like it. And you can also change the cut-in distance by going into the utility menu that we'll get into a little bit later. So you get a real crisp, accurate, sharp cut. You have crossfader contour controls. You also have channel fader contour controls as well, so you can scratch with your up faders. But these definitely feel more plasticky, more cheap, and maybe just a little bit more tension. I like a little bit more stiffer tension in my line faders, so that way I have a nice, long, smooth fade. But it's just a minor gripe, or just something that I need to tell you guys so you're aware of it. The DJM faders are more sticky and more smooth to them. This is a little bit more fast and abrupt because it's just lighter with the tension. But they definitely perform well, and I think they're still built to last, and they're going to be here for a while. Next up, you have channel fader starts, and you also have crossfader starts as well. So that way, when you have that feature activated on your players, all you have to do to start the track from playback is just move the fader or move the line faders. Next up, you have your BPM effects, which will let you know exactly where your effects are currently residing upon, which channel, and you can use your selector knob here for your FX channel assign to assign the different channels your effects, or right now how I have it set on master, so all of your banks are lit up. Next up, you have your Q section. You can make these the color of your different decks, so that way they line up and you know exactly what you're cueing in your headphones. Next up, very, very cool feature here. You have separate filter knobs from your sweep effect knobs. So you have these sweep effects that are really cool, quick effects that you can just use. You have dub echo, noise, washout, and gate. Really cool to use. And you have your sweeping knobs here with the center detent. And then you also have your filter knobs as well with the center detent for low pass on the left and high pass on the right. And they work very, very nicely, and everything sounds nice and crisp. By the way, once again, all of the knobs have a metal post underneath. Any post that you actually take off, you'll see the post underneath the knob. You also have a blinking filter light over here, so that way you know exactly when your filter is on or off. And you also have your different highlights of the sweep effects as well. Next up, you have some excellent metering on this mixer. Lots of meters here for your master. You also have your booth volume knob and your pan left and right, and your master control all the way at the top, along with a stereo or mono switch. So if your stereo system has an accurate left and right, you can leave it in stereo, or if you want to run the whole system in mono, like for some club installations in the booth that I was in a couple weeks ago, you can put this bad boy in mono. Next up, you have your full EQ section. You have EQs, high, low, mid, and you also have your trim knob at the top. Again, each of your line levels have their own meters here, so you know exactly where you are in your mix. All the way at the top, you can actually change the different parameters for each of your channels. You can either be digital, line, phono, USB, or DVS mode. All the way at the top, you can also change where USB is connected. So if you have a computer connected to USB 1 or 2, you can flip the switch at the top to change it between USB 1 or 2. So that way that channel will work with the computer you have connected either in USB 1 or USB 2. Next up, you have your microphone section. You have your low and your high for your microphone. This is the EQ section, and you also have level volume knobs for mic 1 and mic 2. Mic 1 is here, it's a combo jack as we said earlier. Mic 2 is on the back, and that is a TRS input. And then you have mic 1 on, mic 2 on, and you also have a talk over button here as well. You can change the volume that you reduce your whole set to when you press talk over by going into the utility menu. For the EQs, you can also change their parameters to either be full kill or regular EQs right here in the utility menu as well. You can also change your filter parameters in the utility menu as well. So that way you have your different high and low pass frequency cutoff points. Next up, you have your headphone section here. You have split Q on or off button. Then you have a Q master knob, and you also have your level knob. And again, you have two different headphone outputs. One is 1/4 inch and one is mini. Next up, you have your dual USB ports, and you also have your nice little screen here, so that way you can change your different utility menus. You can adjust the EQ, filter, headphone, headphone volume, microphone volume, talk over, microphone EQs. You can change your audio, and you can change different things within the system as well. Very easy to do. You also have a Midi clock, so you have an output of Midi on the back, so that way this will be in sync with anything else you guys are working with in the studio. And then, of course, you have your effects select as well. Within the screen, you guys can see your different effects here. It comes with echo, delay, Hajleco, ping pong, trans filter, other filters, phaser, bit crush, reverb roll, and beat break. You also have scratch, and you can use your send and return on the back as well. You have all of your BPM information here on the bottom screen and the tempo. It's very, very accurate. And the cool thing about this mixer is that you can always download more and new upgrades to it that Denon has kept pushing out. They actually added 2 of the effects on the last screens within the last few months, and they'll be adding more effects in the future. So there's some digital DJ mixers out there that have a knob here that have all the set different points for your effects, but this is even cooler because you will forever be able to add effects as long as Denon DJ provides all that support. You have your FX select knob here. You can go back and forward with all of your navigation throughout your screens. You also have an FXQ, so that way you can hear the FX in your headphones, how they play. Then you have your FX assign knob, as we said earlier. You have your FX time knob here, so you can change the timing of your effect, or you can just use the touch panel here in order to change the timing of the effect that you would like to. Very easy to use, really cool. You also have a tap button, so you can auto get the BPM, or you can tap your BPM in just in case it is not correct. You also have an FX frequency knob here, so you can only affect the sound of the different frequency that you guys have set. So if you want to do snare drums, you'll have that towards the higher band. If you want to do bass drums, you'll set it to the lower band. You also have instant, and that will change some of the effect parameters. So when you hear it with instant on, it sounds a bit different than when you hear it with it off. You also have BPM FX on and off, really big oversized button. And then you have your wet and dry knob here for your function of your effect. In conclusion, the brand new Denon DJ X1800 PRIME DJ mixer is an excellent choice for anyone who wants a 4-channel DJ mixer and they want all of the features and functionality that you get with a flagship style DJ mixer just like this one. You have all of these inputs and outputs on here, including the links for your link cables to your other players, so that way everything remains in sync and communicating with each other. It also has really robust and excellent build quality. It's solid all the way around, and I'm sure this bad boy is going to last you guys for years and years to come. It also has separate built-in filter knobs and different knobs for your sweep FX, and that's really cool to see that they have separate knobs for each of your different filters and your FX. And you also have a super effects section over here with the touch strip so you can change the timing. You also have a screen on board so that way you can flip through all of your different effects, and you can also change all the parameters of the effects within the menus as well. You also have a very, very extensive utility menu where you can change different colors for decks. You can also change your cue buttons here. You can change the way your EQs react. You can also change the cut-in distance on your crossfader and lots more. On the downside, the only real fault that I could find with this mixer was that I used this bad boy in the club to DJ last weekend, and it was in a DJ booth and it was very, very dark. So I couldn't see all of the controls perfectly, but I'm sure with time I would definitely be able to use this with my eyes closed as long as I was using this as my normal everyday day-to-day mixer. There's also a few other little minor quirks, like I would have liked to see if they had a EQ for both of your different microphone inputs separately, but you know, most mixers don't have any EQ at all for your microphone, so little minor gripe. But other than that, this is an excellent mixer, perfect for any DJ who has the Denon DJ Prime setup, or any DJ who doesn't want to spend an arm and a leg for a competitor's product that might actually not be as good. So for more on the full review rundown, you guys can head on over to www.djbooth.net/DJS, or you can click on the link at the top of this video description. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you like videos like this one. Make sure you guys subscribe so that way you know when the next videos are coming out, and you guys are not going to want to miss our NAMM 2018 coverage. So make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.